So this video is focused on the path of a meditator. There are these buzzwords: mindfulness, meditation, yoga, uh, self-discovery, enlightenment. What does it actually mean? And does it even help people? I'm going to talk about my journey through several meditation retreats, and recently I actually served a retreat, essentially kind of cooked and cleaned for people who were sitting the course, sitting in the sense that they meditated for 7 to 8 hours. And I found a deep sense of satisfaction in serving people who were on the meditative path. Personally, I have also meditated, so I know how challenging as well as breathtaking and rewarding meditation can truly be. So let's start with, this concept of meditation. What is meditation? So I would say the Sanskrit term for meditation is dhyana. And dhyana is literally just effortless concentration. If you look at the Eightfold Path in Buddhism, or Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, there's a distinction between effortful meditation and effortless meditation. Dhyana is effortless. There are many, concentration exercises you can do. You can focus on a candle. You can focus on, like, for example, archers focus on a target. Gunmen focus on the thing that they're shooting at. You can focus on anything you really want. So I went to this retreat, this Vipassana retreat, which is a 10-day silent retreat. So essentially, you can't talk to anyone. You give away your phones, and basically, you have no gadgets, you have no technology. Essentially, you're meditating for 7 to 8 hours every day if you're a student. I did this twice. The first time I did it was 2022, and the second time I did it was 2023. Both of these times, what blew my mind was how little we truly need in life. I mean, it's bizarre. We bombard ourselves with so many gadgets and technologies. And I mean, I just look at my desk and it's just filled with, books and monitors and PS5s and gaming consoles, all types of different things. And I was in this retreat with nothing. And yet it was such a peaceful experience. I mean, all I had was my little room, which the Vipassana retreat it's truly organized in a very systematic and professional manner. So they really take care of you. They give you a room with a bed, and some centers have their own bathroom to the bed. And all they really want you to focus on is the meditation. Everything else is taken care of. You'll get free food, and the retreat is free. If I forgot to mention that, yes, this 10-day retreat is free. You get free shelter and food for 10 days if you dedicate yourself to the meditation. Of course, 7 hours of meditation is challenging, but out of those 7 hours, 3 hours are compulsory. In the group, and then the rest you have to do whether in your room or whether in the with other people in the Dhamma hall is up to you. So, I'm not going to go over all the agenda, but I'll kind of put it right here. So you're starting your day at 4:30 in the morning, most likely getting up, getting ready, and then starting meditation at 5:30, and then you have multiple sittings. And then so there's breakfast in the morning pretty early, and then you have lunch at 11 a.m. And then you continue sitting. You can walk. A lot of people do walking meditation. And a lot of these centers are actually out in the woods. So there's a beautiful nature, a lot of birds, a lot of native wildlife. And so it's a very serene place to be in. And especially when you're meditating so much, it feels wonderful. And then you get dinner, but here's the thing with dinner is that it's just fruits and tea. That's it. So one meal per day. You're basically living as a monk. And the way I was told to meditate is that think of yourself as someone who has given up everything in the world. Everything you have possessed is gone now. What do? You sit down and you meditate. And what you find in meditation is the most precious thing in the world, and that's utter peace. So, if you have time, if you have 10 days, I highly encourage people to meditate and do this retreat. I wrote a blog on this, so I'm not going to go too much in depth about the actual experience of meditation, and I've made many videos in the past as well. What I'm going to focus on today is the service part, because that is my most latest experience. So I served on a course. So each course has students and servers. Servers are the people who cook. Most of the times it's like 70 to 100 people in a course. So courses for 10 days. And so you're cooking for 70 people on a daily basis, which is a lot. So it's pretty heavy duty work. You're working in the kitchen for about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, I would say. And that includes cleaning, that includes cooking, prepping for the next day, setting up the food for the students that come in. It also involves giving the food to the teachers. They don't really get out of the residential area, so there's some jobs. There will be a manager who kind of takes care of that. And I had a wonderful manager. She was really good at handling tasks and giving them to people. There will also be a coordinator who will train on various equipment. So because this is, you're serving for a lot of people, you have to be very sanitary. So you have to follow guidelines. You have to do certain things a certain way. And if food is kept out for a certain amount of time outside of the fridge or on the counter, then it has to be discarded. There's a lot of rules that you have to follow. But everything fits in place if you just follow the directions. And I think this is what I gained from the service experience. So, I served for only 7 days in the course, but I realized that, service is all about giving up your own preferences and just following instructions. That's very hard in today's world, especially in the Western culture. We have our own ideologies, and I do this all the time too. I was this type of person where I came with the mentality that I knew everything. I know how to think, I know how to plan. I'm going to do things my way. A sense of humility is lost. You think that, you know, my way or highway. You never really kind of sit down and reflect on maybe other perspectives that could actually help you and make your life much more easier, right? So in this service opportunity, I let go of all my preferences. I told myself I know nothing and I have nothing. I just went there and I just listened to the instructions that were told to me. And lo and behold, everything worked out perfectly. And I actually gained a lot of new skills and new recipes, a lot of new cooking practices out of it. So that's my first, kind of lesson from the service that I did, is that have no preferences. Just follow instructions, especially from people who are more experienced than you. But also in your daily life, there are going to be times where someone tells you something and you're like, no, I'm not going to follow it. Just try it. Just try to have an open mind. Open mind and humility is like one of the best ways you can have a service-oriented mindset. I think the other thing that I learned in service is the intrinsic feeling of love comes even without anyone saying anything. So what I mean by that is that in this silent meditation retreat, no one came up to me and told, wow, you made such a great chocolate bread, which I actually did. I mean, I don't want to brag, but like the chocolate bread, chocolate cake, I guess, not bread, sorry, banana bread. But I made cornbread, but chocolate cake that I made was pretty good. Um, but no one came up to me from the student side, at least. The servers, our team kind of gave me compliments, but no student came to me. But when I served that cake to them, there was this deep sense of love that I felt within. And it wasn't like I saw the students eating, because they ate in a whole different area. When they ate, the positive energy that they brought and they felt kind of traveled from them to me. Now, this seems very bizarre and metaphysical and abstract and kind of mystical, but it's not. It's really, we say energy is never lost. It's either transformed, or it's just changes its form. So that's what I felt, is that I kind of started to feel the positive energy and love that I gave through service, whether that be through cooking or cleaning or serving. It was reciprocating within me. And then that is when it hit me, is that it, good deeds are not for other people. They're for yourself. You're actually a selfish human being. And Goenkaji, who's actually the founder of Vipassana meditation retreats, he says this in one of his server discourses, is that your service is actually a very selfish deed. And I didn't understand this the first time, but when I started meditating on it, I realized that when I was serving, I felt this deep sense of satisfaction that I did not feel anywhere else in the world. And, I've been using this word serving. What does it mean? I mean, from a Christian or more Abrahamic perspective, people go on missions. People have these, soup kitchens or service-oriented camps, or, people will go out and do these campaigns to help the homeless and the sick. It's not about that. I mean, those things are really important. You should do that. But when I say the word serve, it just means to have a mindset of serving. It doesn't necessarily mean to go out and do these specific things. So just whenever you see someone on the street, you may not give them something, but you have this mindset that may this person find, you know, something or another that benefits their life. And that mindset is enough, because that mindset will somehow change how you live your life, and automatically you will find things to give. It might not be money, it might not be food, it might be a box of Kleenex, it might be a hand sanitizer, it might just be random things. But you see how you wouldn't have given those things to the homeless person or the person on the street if you did not have that mindset of giving. And it all starts with your heart. And, ultimately, when you meditate, it's not always about the mind, it's also about the heart. In my tradition, the Zen tradition, we say the mind is the Buddha and the Buddha is the mind. And so we're always training our mind to be pure, because that is where the Buddha resides. But for me, I realized that I like to place the Buddha in my heart as well. And a lot of, other traditions, also place their deities or their prophets in the heart. And that's a very special thing to do, because that allows you to truly feel the love of, whoever you worship or whoever you follow, and start to develop those same characteristics within yourself. So, meditation in action is far more superior than meditation on the cushion. And service is meditation in action. Really, you are allowing the meditative mind, a calm and composed mind, to freely flow and serve others, to help others. And there is no credit taken for serving, right? If you think about a meditator, he is in a state of mind where he's neither elated or like in ecstasy, nor is he in depression or sadness. He's in this equilibrium state. So he's not going to come up to you and start or he or she is not going to start like giving you these, positive remarks. They might just satisfy their hunger and be grateful. But that gratitude that the meditator gives to you as a server is, incredibly powerful, because in that state of mind, when that meditator had a pure mind and they developed this gratitude towards you, that merit that you gain, that karma that you receive, is incredibly boundless. So ultimately, very little is needed in life. All you really need is to have a mindset of giving. Generosity is one of the most purest virtues you can have. And his journey in service. So Rabindranath Tagore is, one of these philosophers who really focus on public health and service. And he, said this amazing quote. He says, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy." So, all of us want joy in life. All of us want to be happy. But in reality, what we do is we become selfish in this process. And we start to behave in ways that resemble an animal. And if you think about it, animals live for themselves. They go out, they find food, they shelter themselves from other animals, they compete with other animals, and then they sleep. Are we really that different? We are different. We're not just animals. We may come from animals, but in reality, we have conscience. And this conscience is going to help dictate what we do outside of our survival, and that's service. So, this video was about a meditator, and I kind of talked about meditation, but I think the highest type of meditation is the Bodhisattva meditation, which involves developing deep compassion. Compassion can only be possible when we start to see no difference between self and other. And this is what I found through service. So I encourage you to serve to your best of ability. And try to find ways to lower the ego, and just see how that changes you as a human being, and start to introspect. You'll see that you're starting to become a much more happier person. The joy that you were seeking initially is actually coming to you now. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.